Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Art Whisperer 88. On your screen you will see the ghost image of my last print. This is a mixture of pale blue and some light yellow, which I had brushed on my stencils. And obviously they are very dry, and I thought maybe I can recover them or make use of them on a different print. So, but before I do that, I'm going to make some black lines with my Fat Magic marker. This is Tru Red, a chisel point. I think I got this from Staples for like $3, so it's not an expensive pen. And I'm going to do my usual circles. I thought I'd combine this time a web of lines and the ghost print and see where this goes. Like I had mentioned earlier, I usually don't overplan. I do have a rough idea of what I want to do or plan to do, but it's mostly experimental. Oh, this is my acrylic paint marker. It may or may not show up, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, so now that I've got those lines set down, I'm going to decide on a background color. It has to be something that will contrast with this. So I'd say it has to be something light, not this color. So maybe this time I will try a cadmium yellow, which is a very bright yellow. It's bright but not . This is a brand new tube, so it still has the protective foil. I'm gonna go ahead and use it without the . Combine it with parchment. around. Okay, let's see how this goes. I'm using my brayer, which is not very clean. I mean, I did clean it, but there's some dried paint remaining, and I had one of my viewers very kindly suggested I use these magic scrubbers. So I'm gonna try that to see if that will take the dried paint off. But sometimes what I do is, when I remember to do it, I will place my brayers in a container, like a plastic tub, and soak them in very hot soapy water and hope that that does the trick. Okay, let me just make sure this is clean. Again, I'm pressing hard, as hard as I can, because I want the permanent markers to transfer. Okay, and to add to that, I will leave the paper on here for about half hour. So I'm going to take a coffee break, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's been about, I'd say 25 minutes. I've finished the coffee break. Let me see what we got here. I think I was able to successfully transfer the ghost image. It's actually picking up everything. I can tell because the paper is really stuck on the plate like a piece of tape. And I'm being very careful not to make sudden jerky movements because I don't want to tear the paper. I know the paper is strong, but I still want to be careful. It's actually picked up everything pretty much. I'd say 99%. Here we go. It's kind of a cool image. Very orangey yellow with some pale blue touches, kind of like a sky at sunset. Here's a close-up. Now the orange lines are not too obvious, but they're there. And the permanent marker has transferred very well. Okay, so I'm going to air dry this and see what else I can add to it. So don't go away. Okay, back from a short break, and I want to experiment with these used stencils and see if I can give them a second chance around. They're still in fairly decent shape. They're not all ripped up. And instead of using a brayer, I'm going to paint. I have a mixture here of parchment and paint around the stencils. Because I think if I use a brayer, these guys are going to lift and start moving around. For some reason, when they're used, they're not as sticky. They don't stick to the plate as much as I want. So I'll try it this way. I'm hoping that the parchment will kind of tone down the black lines in the background. I'll see how this works. There's no 100% chance of success. I'll only know when I try it and pull the print and see what happens. I'm going to have to do a little cleanup around the edges because the brush marks are going over the edge. Okay, just make sure that everything is covered. I'm finding it helpful that the stencils are pink. They remind me when I'm done to take them out. There's a blot there, but that's okay. Since it's a brushed image, it is gonna be a little blotchy anyway. So here's to refresh your memory. Here is the first pull with the black lines, and I'll see what happens when I add the second layer. Hopefully it won't be too blotchy. Again, I'm going to leave this for about 15 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, it's been a little over half an hour. Let's see what we got. So I think it kind of toned down the orange. Gives it a different dimension, so it doesn't look as flat. Pretty cool. So I'm going to air dry this and see what else I can do. Maybe apply collage or do some hand coloring. I'll see. I'll have to look at this and see what else. Usually the artwork tells me what it wants, and sometimes it tells me to stop. So I'll be right back. Okay, back from a short break. I went through my box of scraps and I found some of this red tissue paper, and I thought it might be interesting to create a demarcation line or a vertical element on this side. And here's some black tissue. This might work like so. And here's some copy paper scrap that I have. I thought that might work. Let me start mounting this, because I do like it on the left side. As usual, I may change my mind, but that's okay. So this for sure goes here. Now the thing about tissue paper is you have to decide, because once it's down, that's it. I did take some time and look at this piece very carefully, and I've changed my mind several times. So, but I'm decided on this red element here. So I'm going to go ahead and mount it. And once it's mounted, I can't change my mind. Okay, this is a little tricky because of the appendages. Okay, that's mounted for sure. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Now, this piece, like a letter C, will go here. Actually, I prefer it this way. Okay. And then this copy paper kind of counterbalances on the right side, right here. Okay. I'm going to let this air dry and see if I want to add something else. Sometimes when I come back after a few minutes, I realize that it needs something, or I realize that it's time to stop. So anyways, I'm gonna turn on this fan and I'll be right back. Okay, this is a last minute addition. I thought maybe this, I don't know if it will show up on the camera, but this is a thin piece of white tissue, and I thought it might be interesting to place it up here. It would kind of tone down the harshness of this black line here. Let me see. I mean, in the long run, it may not make much of a difference, but I want to give it a try. because it does dry very practically invisible. Well, what I'll do is I'll come back and see if it has any significant difference. Probably not, but I thought I'd give it a try anyway. I think I'm going to call this finished. And let me do a close shot. So the images here, or the elements, are more of, rather than have them printed, these are hand drawn and collaged on. So it's truly a mixed media work. Here's a long shot. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little different approach to my usual images, because I do like to explore. Sometimes they work out, sometimes not, but that's the whole point of exploration. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Hello, I'm back. I took a good look at the print and I'm not too satisfied with it. And knowing myself, I can't leave well enough alone. I'm gonna try to add another layer of turquoise on top of it. I think the yellow in the print is way too strong, so I'm gonna try to quote unquote remedy it. It may not work. There's no surefire formula, but I'm gonna give this a try. It's what you call artist dissatisfaction. It's the constant drive for self-improvement, whether it's real or imagined. And like I said before, that's just me. Okay, let's see how this works out. This is one of those rare times when I can't be satisfied with the result. I have to do something. I think these stencils have had it. I'm gonna toss them. Okay, here's the piece that I wasn't too happy with. I'm taking a chance by doing this, and if it doesn't work out, it's still on film, so I'm not going to be ashamed to record this. Because I think that when you do art instruction, you tell it like it is. You don't pretend that everything always works out the way you want. Sometimes it just doesn't. And usually a mistake is a valuable lesson. So I look at it that way. I don't think of it as a setback. Okay. Let's see what I got. It might turn out to be a mess, but I won't know till I try. So here goes. It's kind of messy, but it looks more painterly. I actually like this better than when I didn't do the extra layer. So I'm not sorry I did this. And I'll strike it for experience. Now this is a ghost print here. I'm gonna have to air dry this and maybe use it for something else. But here's the end result, and I find it less objectionable. It's kind of cool because it looks like a canvas, And I'm gonna air dry this and recap when I'm done. Okay, it's been a few minutes and this is dry and the paper has kind of flattened out. It does look so much better, and I'm not sorry that I changed my mind and decided to add another layer. Here's a close-up. I do like the brush strokes. This is not applied with a brayer. This is brushed on. So it does take on a more painterly kind of look instead of having something that is flat and printed. It's not as neat as my other work, but I do find it interesting, and it kind of inspires me to maybe do something on a canvas, because when you're working on canvas you have a little more freedom. You don't have the restraints of the technicalities of printmaking. So anyways, this is my my piece where my mind, and it's all recorded for everyone to see. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing and following. Please give me a thumbs up. I welcome your comments, and I hope to see you next time.